morning, everyone. I'm Rachel Norton. I am a two-term incumbent on the Board of Education. I'm running for a third term. I'm a parent of two teenagers in high school, public high school now. One of my daughters has a disability, and a big part of my leadership on the Board of Education has been around special education and supporting students with disabilities. I also have spent a lot of time. I think one of the things that makes me unique as a Board of Education member is the amount of time that I spend really informing the public about what we're doing. I have a blog that is quite popular actually in the parent and teacher and just sort of interested parties community. I recap pretty much every Board of Education meeting. I stay up very late on Tuesday evenings doing that. And I think it really has helped people understand. I mean, part of the questions you asked the last candidate were, you know, how do you make decisions? How do you absorb all this information? And I really want the public to understand the complexity of the issues that we're dealing with. And so I do spend a lot of time trying to explain those issues and go into my take, at least, on the board's decision making. And I think that has been a real contribution to the understanding in our community of sort of what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. And allowing people to push back too and say, hey, you should be doing this instead of that. This coming term, I think it's very clear we have two things to accomplish. One, we need to hire a new superintendent. Our superintendent has left for Houston, or will shortly be leaving for Houston. And while, you know, I was personally sad to lose Richard, I had a good relationship with him. I think he accomplished a lot for the district. I really am looking forward to this as an opportunity to kind of say, okay, you know, we had good, strong, continuous leadership for 7 years, both from when he was the deputy and then being the superintendent. And now we have an opportunity to pause and take stock and say, what did we like about his leadership and what he accomplished, and what do we want to do differently? So I think actually the board is really in a great place to be thoughtful about that decision and to engage the community around that decision and really think about what do we want from our next superintendent. The other issue is that, you know, San Francisco is getting harder and harder for working people to live in. I'm a renter myself. We have seen this past year just how hard it is to recruit new teachers. We are not competitive, both in our salaries and I think in some ways the working conditions in schools. We have negotiations coming up with United Educators and we'll start probably in January or February of 2017 because their contract expires June 30th, 2017. And my top priority, I've told them and I've been saying on the campaign trail, is going to be compensation. It has to be compensation. That's a big, big part of the equation in our recruitment and retention needs. Teacher housing is starting to move. I think that's an aspect of the strategy, and I think that there's other things that we can do through the contract process to improve working conditions for teachers. So I'm committing to really no new initiatives until we get that contract done, because I don't want to invest in anything else besides things that are going to support teachers and support their compensation, because that has to be our top priority right now. I am endorsed by the Democratic Party, endorsed by UESF, endorsed by the building trades. You have a list of a number of my endorsements there. There's more on my website. I feel, you know, very positive about this cycle because I think there's been a lot of consensus around my candidacy that I've done a good job and that I deserve another term, and I would be honored for your endorsement and support.